Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our October 2024 Evening Education Connection. We are fortunate to have a panel discussion tonight for alternative funding options. We have Sunny joining us from Help Hope Live, Wendy joining us from Achieva, and Jennifer joining us from PATF. I apologize. Wendy is from PATF and Jennifer is from Achieva. And so I'm going to hand things off to Sunny, who will start us off, and then we will kind of have follow-up discussions from there.
Great. Thank you so much, Julie. Let me pull up my PowerPoint real quick. Sorry, Zoom is getting in the way of me doing PowerPoint. All right, so thank you, everyone. So as Julie said, my name is Sunny Mullen. I am the Director of Outreach with Help Hope Live. And Help Hope Live is a national nonprofit that serves individuals of all ages in all 50 states to go into their communities to fundraise for their medical expenses and related costs due to catastrophic injury, catastrophic illness, and transplant. And even though we are a national nonprofit, we are in your backyard. We're based out of Radnor. We were founded in Philadelphia. And we have been around now, starting yesterday, for 41 years. So we have a long history of helping those in need, not only in our own backyard, but all across the country to help raise funds toward their medical expenses. And how do we do that? And why would individuals come to Help Hope Live to do their fundraising? You might be familiar with some other platforms, such as a GoFundMe or some other just various fundraising platforms that are out there. And how we compare to that is that we provide you with a team of coordinators and the personal support to go into your community to do fundraising. We also manage all of the funds that are raised in honor of your loved one so that they should not affect any of your loved one's benefits or become household income. And we also medically verify everyone that we work with. So we are really a safe and supportive way for individuals to do fundraising for their medical expenses. And these are just some notes from our clients. And as I said, we do medically verify everyone we work with just to add that extra layer of transparency. And we provide all of our clients with custom campaign pages as well. So this is where you can share your loved one's story, collect donations, receive messages of support, post updates on your fundraisers, and connect to social media right within your campaign page. So that is really the hub of all of your fundraising activity with Help Hope Live. We also provide custom media support. If your story calls for it, we can help you access local media to tell your loved one's story and get the word out a little bit better. So our team is ready and able to be able to do this for anyone and everyone involved. So we do from social media, and we also assist with social media support. And this is where our team can help you tailor your social media campaign, whether it's through Giving Tuesday in the fall or different ways to fundraise through Instagram. This is one of the ways that our client services coordinators can assist you and your loved ones in your fundraising efforts. Some other examples of different types of fundraisers that our clients have done. These are just some flyers that our coordinators have made in honor of our clients, but there's no right or wrong way to do fundraising. And that word can seem very big. Maybe you think you need to do a major outing. Fundraising looks different to everyone. It can be big. It can be big as a golf outing or a gala, but it also can be small on scale, like a bake sale or t-shirt sales, or even a cornhole tournament, all the way down to a yard sale. And I say small on scale because just because they're small on scale does not mean they are a small fundraiser. We've had people raise $10,000 doing 2 weekends of yard sales. So just different types of examples. We really try to be creative and what will bring your community out and what will pique their interest to really have them come out and have a fun day, whether that's virtually or physically. So We help you do your fundraising. That is the bulk of what we're here to do, but we provide a lot of different assets to help you do that. One of which being these business cards. We can provide the file that you can upload and print out your own business cards to your loved one's campaign, and it has a picture, the name, and a QR code that leads right to the campaign page, so that when you're out and about in the community, and maybe you're talking to someone about your campaign and what you're doing with Help Hope Live, you can just pull out a business card right away and have them scan it and tell your loved one's story right there and then. So this is one asset that we provide to each of our clients. Another asset we provide is a personalized fundraising video appeal. And this is a video that compiles pictures that you provide us and is narrated by our executive director and is an easy way for you to dip your toes into the fundraising waters. This video can be posted on social. It's a pretty passive way to really get into your fundraising. So we provide all of our clients who have been with us for about a month, if they choose to, one of these personalized fundraising videos. So we've helped you do this fundraising. Now, what are we helping you fundraise toward? Truly anything related to the diagnosis, from injury or illness, any types of equipment, from wheelchairs to standing frames to modified vehicles, to different types of care, from actual caregiving costs to service animals. And then quality of life. And a big one for your kiddos, and a big way that we've worked with HMS in doing, is adaptive bicycles, helping your kiddos be kiddos again. And so there's a lot that we can help you fundraise toward to just help your kiddo get out each and every day. Really, for this community, the biggest things that we do help them fundraise toward are home modifications, caregiving, and vans. Those are the top three items we help our community fundraise toward pretty much year over year. And so how are we helping you pay for these bills? We try to make this as easy as possible. You will have your bill for your item, whatever that might be, and you can scan it with our fund request form here and email it directly to our finance team. You can also mail if you choose, but scanning right to our team allows them to look at it right away. And as soon as we have all of the appropriate paperwork, we can then guarantee that that will be paid within 8 to 10 business days. So we just need to make sure we have all the proper paperwork. We prefer to pay directly to vendor as much as possible so that you aren't putting money out front all the time. You don't have to do that. That's why you're fundraising with us. And we offer anyone involved direct deposit. So whether it's you getting reimbursed or your vendors, they can receive their funds through direct deposit payments as well. So more assets that we provide our entire community, outside of those fundraising efforts, one being an adaptive fitness class that we do 3 times a month. And it's free for anyone in the community, whether they're a Help Hope Live client or not. It's a lot of fun. We have about 6 to 10 regulars that come now every single week. And, whether it's your kiddos or even you guys as parents, anyone can be involved. It's just a fun hour of movement. Another asset that we provide our clients, once they have fundraised over $200, they are eligible, if they would like, to receive a My ID medical alert bracelet. And so we cover the first year of their extra plus service. After that, it is $25 a year, but this is a great bracelet that can help your family track all of your kiddos' medications, vital conditions, all of their information in one place, because I know you guys probably have binders upon binders of information of everything that your kiddos need to thrive every single day. So this is just one more thing if you choose to want it or not. So with all of that we're here to do and to help your families fundraise, it is at no cost to your families for anything that we do. There is a 3% administration fee on the donations that come in honor of your loved one, and a 2.65 credit card fee if your donor chooses to donate online. But the donors can cover these fees within their donation if they choose to. So again, no cost to your family and at little cost as possible to your donors for anything they do, but also a reminder that they receive a tax-deductible donation as well when they donate in your honor. So again, just working with Help Hope Live, we provide the personal support that helps you get out into your community to do your fundraising. our nonprofit status, which helps maximize your fundraising efforts, and the way that we work and manage your loved ones, the funds that have been raised in honor of your loved ones, allows them to keep their benefits and to not hurt any of your family income. So whether it's all three or one of these pieces, we hope that you find an advantage to working with Help Hope Live and making that first phone call. And that first phone call is really a great place to start. So to get started with us, you can either just call our 800 number, which you see at the bottom of the slide here, and have a conversation with a coordinator. You can go to our Get Started page on our website and fill out some information and receive a phone call from a coordinator. No matter what, you need to start with that coordinator. They'll have the conversation, they'll figure out if this is the right program for you, and then they'll send you a welcome packet with the terms of service for you to sign off on, the medical verification form. Get all that paperwork back to us and you are started. This process truly can take less than 24 hours if you want it to. So we try to make this as painless as possible for you. You have enough going on in your everyday life. You don't need to fill out one more application that takes weeks upon weeks. We're really here to try to make this as easy as possible for everyone involved. So with that, if you guys ever need brochures or if you ever need any assistance, please just reach out to us. Reach out to our Get Started page and let us know how we can help. We really appreciate being a part of the HMS community, and whatever we can do to help you help your kiddos, we're here for that. So thank you very much. My email and contact information is on this slide. Feel free to reach out. And at this point, I will pass it back to Julie.
Thank you so much, Sunny. We will have a question and answer segment at the end for all of our speakers. So I'll ask that if anyone has any questions, just hold on tight until the end of our session. I am gonna move things along over to Wendy Davis, joining us from Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation. So Wendy, I will spotlight you.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we are good.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to buzz through this as quickly as possible because there is a lot of content in this presentation. I am Wendy Davis. I'm the Director of Marketing and Outreach for Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation. I always like to begin my presentations by explaining that all of the photographs, pictures in the presentation are actual images of people that we've worked with who've agreed to share their images and their stories to help educate people about AT and funding for assistive technology. Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation is a statewide nonprofit. We're based in King of Prussia. We are a federally authorized program. We're the alternative finance program for the state of Pennsylvania. Every state may have one AFP, and we are the designated program for Pennsylvania. We get money from the U.S. Treasury to help people with purchasing assistive technology, and we are also funded by the state. We help Pennsylvanians of all ages, all income levels, all disabilities and health conditions, from all communities and cultural backgrounds. And it's really important, I want you to pay attention, all ages. So children through older Pennsylvanians, and all income levels. Many times people think that they make too much money to come to us for assistance, and that's simply not true. We've been around since 1998. These numbers are a little old because we're about to extend up to $50 million. We're coming up to our $50 million mark for extending loans for assistive technology. But looking at these numbers, I want you to look at that big number at the bottom, 54,000 Pennsylvanians. That is the number of people that we've helped with information and assistance about AT funding resources. That is the main thing we do. People call us and say, you know what, my child's getting too big. I can't do the transfers anymore. We need to get an adaptive vehicle. And we talk to them about different funding sources that are available to them in order to get an adaptive vehicle or home modification. I also want to make sure we're all on the same page on what is assistive technology. Because we are a federal program, we use the federal definition for assistive technology. And this is basically, in a nutshell, it's anything that helps someone live their life better. So people come to us and explain how something is going to change their life, and that is assistive technology for them. So some unusual examples, like a generator. If someone in your house uses a hospital bed or uses oxygen, a generator can be assistive technology, because if the power goes out for a few days, everybody's worried about how long that battery lasts, and you shouldn't have to worry about that. Bathroom modifications, kitchen modifications, widening doorways, these are all assistive technology. Also, you'll see in there, be active in their community. Like Sunny mentioned, adapted sports equipment. I want to do more of those loans. I know Lancaster Recumbent out in Lancaster, they do refer people to us for financial loans to get their recumbent bikes. I mean, we want kids to get out there and play and be able to interact with their peers. So that is another thing that we can help people with, is adapted sports equipment. This video I wanted to share with all of you. Alexa is actually a good friend of mine. We've worked with Alexa a lot. She lives in central Pennsylvania. She's a young woman born with cerebral palsy. She has a home of her own. She no longer lives with her parents. She has her own home, and she has support come in and help her with her daily life. She also works. She's employed by the ARC of Pennsylvania. Alexa uses a lot of smart home technology, and she has her home fully accessible. And I wanted you to get a look at that, and also look at how she uses smart home technology so she can do many things herself. And I'm hoping this inspires you for what could be possible for your child.
Hi, Alexa. Thank you so much for having us at your house today so that we could talk about smart home. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm from Cumberland County in central Pennsylvania, and I graduated from Edinburgh University in 2013.
And so now you live in your own home. When did you move here?
2015.
And do you have family nearby?
Yes, I live 15 minutes away.
So that's close enough if there's an emergency,
Yeah.
15 minutes away. Do you work?
I work for the ARC of Pennsylvania as the social media manager, and I've been doing that for 9 years, since 2014. I also volunteer for South Advocates United as when I'm the president of the board.
President of the Board of Self Advocates
Yeah.
United?
Yeah.
Oh, so fabulous. Well, what got you interested in smart home devices?
Well, my two sisters, they live in their own apartments, so I wanted to do the same thing, and I was always very independent. So my dad started looking into how I could control my home.
So what were your first devices?
And Amazon Echo Dot. I have 3 of them.
So you got an Amazon Echo Dot, 3 of them, and what did you want that Dot to do for you?
Well, at first it could only turn on the lights, because I figured out how to connect it to my lighting system, and then the reason I got it is so that I wouldn't have to scream throughout the house when I was in bed.
I think that makes sense. So the
Yeah.
first thing you had it do was turn on and off lights,
Yeah.
and then you could use it as an intercom so
Yeah.
you wouldn't scream throughout the
Yeah.
house to get some help.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. What do you use the Echo for now?
Primarily when I'm in bed, I set my alarm, and then if I need anything during the night I can drop in to this room because there's usually ways I can, which is why it was such trouble getting their attention.
I think that makes a lot of sense. So first of all, I might start using it to wake me up as an alarm if they have a nice, sweet voice. And then you use it still as an intercom or a phone to get the attention. So what other devices have you added now to your Echo?
It can do pretty much anything I can do through my phone. That I can raise the blinds, turn the lights on.
Okay, I want to make sure I get all this. You are able to raise and lower your blinds, turn on and off your lights,
Open the door.
open the door,
Lock the door.
lock the door.
And I even have codes that point so that I say good night and the whole house turns off. So
Very cool. So you've set it so it also has a kind of some automation so you can say good night and the house goes to sleep.
yeah.
Cool. Very, very cool.
Shot that video. Alexa had said on her wish list was a smart dog feeder, and she did get a smart dog feeder. So you'll see a picture of her with her dog Chloe, and she can feed her puppy herself with the smart dog feeder. If any of you are attending the CHOP Developmental Disabilities Regional Conference, we are doing a panel on smart home technology, and Alexa will be joining us. She'll be there in person. So I invite you to come to our panel discussion and ask her some questions. Did I miss something there? So one of the things I wanted to mention is we have the Smart Homes Made Simple guide, which is a great resource if you want to explore how smart home technology can make everyday life a little bit easier. It's available free copy. You can call our office and we'll send it to you, or you can do a free download, the PDF. If you scan that QR code on the screen, you can download that, and it's 508 compliant. In it, there's a self-assessment to help you helps guide you through your everyday activities to say, you know what, I do have some problems with communicating between rooms. Maybe that's something that we should look at for using smart home technology. I wanted to mention, so these are some of the funding sources that Alexa used for her home. She braided 3 funding sources in order to modify her new home. OVR paid for the ceiling mounted lift and the installation of an electric door opener on the front door, because these were things that she needed in order to go to work. OVR will help pay for assistive technology when it's related to getting training to be employed or to be able to work. Her waiver paid for modification to her floors so that she could go roll over all the thresholds and get to every room with her power wheelchair. Also her walls and 3 other doors. OVR did not pay for an automatic door opener for her back door to her patio because she didn't need that to go to work. So her waiver paid for that. She also got a grant from the Cumberland County Housing and Redevelopment Authority to use that to install precursor to smart home. She's now migrated everything over to smart home technology. So I put here a list of some of the top funding sources for AT in Pennsylvania. Of course, I had to put us first. Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation. We have financial loans. And as I mentioned, this is a federally authorized program, and we are the state's designated alternative finance program. There are also many grants. We have a guide called Funding Your Assistive Technology Guide, and I'll be going over that. And actually, we have someone from Achieva here. Jen's going to talk about Achieva, and Achieva is one of our big partners. We refer a lot of people to Achieva to get help with funding. OVR, as I mentioned, is another great resource. Health insurance, of course, will pay for AT, some AT if it's qualified as many times as durable medical equipment. Home and community-based waiver programs, they also cover assistive technology, and I'm going to go over that a little bit. And PA-able, if you're not familiar with PA-able accounts, that is one of the things that you can purchase with monies saved in PA-able accounts. So our mini loan program, this is a financial loan program that we run internally. $100 to $7,000. There's 0% interest, 0 fees. There's no administration fees. There's no interest. If you take out a loan from us for $7,000, you pay back $7,000. And again, these are some examples of AT that people purchased with loans from us. Tyler to the left, he went to University of Pittsburgh Bradford. He had a motorized wheelchair. He found that was too slow for getting around campus. He wanted a scooter. Insurance wouldn't pay for another mobility device. So he came to us to get a financial loan to get a scooter. And he enjoyed driving that to campus. He got to class on time after he got the scooter. And then to the far right is Anami. Anami came to us to get funding for a zine device, which is a piece of mobility equipment that has not yet been approved as durable medical equipment. The only way you can get it is to purchase it. So she used a combination of grants and a loan to get her zine. Now, for bigger purchases, we work with partner banks and we buy down the interest rate. It's 3.75% interest and 0 fees. But those loans can go up to $60,000. So many of those loans, well, the number one thing those loans are for are adapted vehicles. We get calls every week for adapted vehicle loans. Also home modifications. If someone's credit history is not pretty and the bank says, we're not sure about extending that loan, PATF can guarantee loans up to $35,000. What is so wonderful about our financial loans? Well, there's no waiting list. There's no requirement to exhaust other funding options. You don't need a medical diagnosis. It's all self-identified. You don't need a letter of medical necessity. You don't need to get multiple quotes. If you have a vendor that you want to work with, you have a quote, that's all you need. You don't need to hit the road to get more quotes. You choose who you want to work with. Here's an example. Mother Lindsay came to us to get a financial loan to get an iPad for her daughter as a communication device. She was tired of fighting with insurance. So she gave up. She came to us for a financial loan. She got the check within a week to purchase the iPad. Her daughter had it, so she continued using it to have a communication device at school instead of getting so frustrated about not being able to communicate with people. So as I said, not last resort. You can come to us at any point. I wanted to cover this really quickly. The waiver programs, you'll see here, Office of Developmental Programs and OLTL. OBRA program, under OLTL, I think many of your kiddos may qualify for OBRA. If you scan this QR code, you can get more information about the OBRA program from the Pennsylvania Health Law Project and how to apply for an OBRA program. So kiddos over 18 can qualify for this program. And under that OBRA program, right here, no limit on assistive technology coverage, no limit on home accessibility adaptations, no limit on vehicle accessibility adaptations. This is an amazing waiver. There were issues in the past with people with being denied. The law project did a lot of work to get that changed. So I recommend that you check out that. And this is one of those things we help people with, is looking at waiver programs, looking at other sources. If you download the funding guide, right here's the QR code. That has all the waiver program that information I just showed you. And that also has all the grants that I was talking about that are available for people. Over 65 funding resources. Our new guide is going to be out soon. We're going to be over 80 different grants, including Achieva, where you can apply for free money to purchase assistive technology. So I highly recommend you check out the funding guide. The other thing that we have is our Sense and Sensibility financial education. The reason I'm mentioning it is because we have this transition age checklist, which is really helpful for parents. I know I was overwhelmed when everything changed. My kids were transitioning. What do I need to worry about? What do they need to have? Yes, they have to apply for selective service. They can register to vote. So this is a good checklist to keep you in step with what you need to do. These are our financial education resources, Sense and Sensibility, and then the Family Companion, which is for younger kids. The Sense and Sensibility is really targeted to our transition age youth. And in that guide is a graph. You'll see this is a photocopy of that page. PA able or able accounts versus special needs trusts. If you want to understand a little bit more about the differences between those options, this will help provide you with a lot of information to make that decision. And again, that is available in our Sense and Sensibility guide. I recommend you sign up for our newsletter. The QR code is right there. We do a lot of free webinars. We have a voting webinar coming up. So know your rights and about accessibility for voting. We're doing a smart homes webinar in November. Real life stories, smart wearables and smart home technology for everyday lives. We have people with disabilities who talk about how they use smart home technology, so that you're hearing from real people that are using it, not some technical expert telling you how you could use it. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Wendy. These resources have been wonderful so far, and I'm excited to hand things over to our final speaker before our Q&A session. So Jennifer Stoyer, who's joining us from Achieva, I will hand things over to you, and thank you so much.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm going to pull up my slides. I'm just going to go run through it a little bit quickly. So we're not going to go into everything, but thank you for the shout out, Wendy. We do collaborate a lot with PATF and getting some of our individuals out there in vehicle modifications and home modifications. So I'm Jen. I am from Achieva Family Trust. We are under the umbrella of Achieva, which is located in Pittsburgh. However, Achieva Family Trust is located in Pittsburgh, but we have branched out all through the state of Pennsylvania. We have some support staff in Erie County. We have 2 staff, or actually almost 3 staff now in the Philadelphia region. And I believe we are looking for another one in the future to be in another section of the state. So what Achieva Family Trust does is that we are corporate trustee for special needs trust accounts. So one of those accounts is called a pool trust. And when a beneficiary of a pool trust passes away, all those remaining funds go into and create our charitable residual program. So just to go over just a little bit of our program, we try to support individuals that lack the resources for critical special needs support. So the residual program provides that to children through adults with a demonstrated need. See if I can keep my slides going. Okay. So, and again, how that works, one of those trusts through Achieva Family Trust is called a pool trust account. So when a beneficiary of a pool trust passes away, any of those remaining funds in that existing account go into and support the charitable residual program. So since 2005, we have been able to provide more than $12 million in goods and services to people with disabilities. Each fiscal year, we are provided with a percentage of what is in that total pool of funds for us to make distributions through the grant. Last year, we had a little over $2 million. This year, we have about around the same. And last year was the first year that we have actually exceeded the amount that we had in that pool of funds. So it was a really big year for us. We received a lot of applications, and for us to process and distribute over $2 million in goods and services throughout the state was really exciting for us. So eligible applicants are individuals throughout the state of Pennsylvania with a disability that includes an intellectual disability, mental health disorders, or physical disabilities. The requests that come through our program should be based on the need of the applicant. We have done a wide range of supports for individuals. We have done iPads, which we have a package for the iPad. We have done camp and recreational activities. We have done medical equipment, home and vehicle modifications. We have done ramps. We have done different types of lifts for the home. We do have a pretty extensive online application process, so I'll go into that a little bit. All requests are to be submitted through this online application process. We just transferred over from our previous application platform, We are now working with SurveyMonkey, so things are a little bit different. We've only been in the system since April, and going from one system for so long and into another system and trying to figure it all out has been very time consuming. But we're working it out, and we are seeing a lot of positives with the application process and making it a lot more user friendly for our applicants. So only completed applications will be considered for review. We process them on an ongoing basis, but we do have quarterly deadlines for their submissions. Those deadlines are January 1st, April 1st, July 1st, and today, October 1st. So you can only imagine how many applications that I have gone through since early this morning. So if an application comes in after that deadline, it's not that it's totally excluded. It just sits in that application stage in our application process now until it is ready for review. In the previous request, applicants were applying, and if you don't come back to it for 3 months and it's at the deadline, we had to deny it just to kind of keep things moving out. But now nothing comes to me until that application is 100% complete and submitted for the person. So there's sections throughout the application where it would require bids, estimates for cost, letters of support from professionals. Depending on if it's a home mod or a vehicle mod, we might need insurance verification, we might need home ownership. So that's all going to be based off of what that request actually is. But if like I said, if it comes in and you start the application on October 1st and you're like, I just couldn't finish it, we are not going to deny it on our end. It will just stay in that for whenever it's more convenient for you to go in and finish the application for submission. So applicants are eligible to receive residual funds once every 2 years. However, camp and recreational activities can be applied to on an annual basis. So with that, if somebody comes to us in 2024 for a home modification, they could also apply for a camp or recreational activity within that same year. They would also be eligible to apply in 2025 for a camp or rec activity, and then again in 2026 for a camp or rec activity, and eligible again for a regular residual request. So regular residual request would be anything from the iPad packages, the medical equipment, home or vehicle modifications. We have done furniture, we have done the GPS, Angel Sense tracking devices. So anything that is really going to contribute to that person's benefit and that need is most likely something that we can and will consider. If there's ever a question about what you're looking at for a particular person, you can always reach out to me and we can kind of have that conversation before going through the application process. We do have camp requests that we have a deadline of May 15th, and that's an annual deadline. If applications for camp come in after that deadline, they are just simply not reviewed or considered. So just some other things to consider whenever you are applying is that we do have emergency requests that can come in, but they are considered on a case-by-case basis. Typically, you would call me, we would discuss the situation, you would put in the application, then I would talk to my managers if they were to consider it as an emergent need or not. If it's not, it just goes through the regular residual process. If it is, then it's expedited through the review process with my managers to the board, and then we expedite all of the approvals and the purchases. We complete all the purchases on our side, so nothing is ever purchased by the applicant or by the individual or family. So if somebody is requesting horseback riding or a camp or recreational activity, we would ask for an updated invoice to be sent to us, along with the other additional paperwork that's needed for us to then release the funds to that particular camp or rec activity. This also goes for any type of modifications. We send the check directly to the contractor, directly to the vendor for anything that is being purchased. Same thing with any medical equipment or any adaptive equipment. We purchase it on our end. We do not do reimbursements. So if a family has already paid for something, they would not be able to come to us and ask us for reimbursement for consideration. But we could offer, you know, an alternative. Is there something else that we would be able to provide to you that would free up those funds so that you could cover those costs for that item that you paid for? We also have in there, please consider PATF for additional financial assistance. We work together a lot. We get a lot of referrals from PATF, and we refer a lot of people to PATF as well. So just a couple frequently asked questions. Actually, I wanted to just touch base one thing on purchasing and approvals. We are a two-person team. So even though we get a lot of applications, there is only myself and the purchaser that is actually processing everything. We work extremely long hours and we try to get everything out as quickly as we can. We are not forgetting about our applicants. We just have so many applicants to process and to get to on a regular basis. So we do ask for patience during the process. It does take some time to get all of the applications reviewed and into processing, and it does take some time for everything to be purchased once that approval process is over. So I just want to run through some quick frequently asked questions and then show a short video on our website, and then we will follow up. So again, eligible applicants or individuals throughout the state of Pennsylvania. We do have some age restrictions with our grant. So we are birth through adulthood. However, at 65, we do have some restrictions. At 65 and over, whenever an applicant is on SSI, we cannot consider any funding. This would compromise that applicant's government benefits. So that is just our practice, that we do not do any of those supports for that individual. And that is because that funding will look like income and it would compromise those benefits. So if the applicant is 65 and over and on SSDI or Social Security funding, we would be able to consider only up to $500. For all of the requests, we require several items for supporting documentation, one of which is the letter of support. This typically comes from a case manager or supports coordinator, a doctor, therapist, somebody that's providing direct services to that applicant. And the letter is just to describe the applicant's disability, the need for the requested funds, and how obtaining those funds would truly increase that applicant's quality of life. The bids or the estimates or for the items that are being requested, anything that is over $500, and that's collectively over $500, it's not per item. So if somebody's coming to us for furniture and one item is $300, one item is $250, and one's, you know, another $200, all of those items together are over $500, so we would need a second comparable bid. We are not tax exempt, so all of our purchases have to include tax, shipping, or any additional fees. So just make sure that you're thinking of that whenever you're applying. Some issues that we have run into is we have done medical beds or medical equipment, and there are fees to get the bed off of the truck. There are fees to put the bed up to the threshold or carrying it into the threshold of the home. So make sure that those are all factored in. Again, we would cover the costs, but it's easier if we already know those costs up front instead of getting them because we're not going to buy a medical bed for an individual and leave it at their front lawn. We would make sure that it's in their home. We would make sure that it's set up and all of that is taken care of. But it's just nice to have those fees kind of upfront so we know what we're getting into whenever we go through the purchase. And maybe one of the most important frequently asked questions is, what is the joinder agreement? So our joinder agreement goes back to as the discussion started with the pool trust. So when a beneficiary of a pool trust opens up a pool trust account, they complete the document, the joinder agreement. The joinder agreement, in terms of the residual program, will join the applicant to that residual pool of funds. And it is more of a formality for us to join that applicant to that residual pool, since those funds are directly from pool trust accounts and the monies from those accounts. So that is kept on file with us once a disbursement is made. And then as you come back, we're going to need a copy in our new system for all of those new submissions coming through. We do need a copy of that in the application, but we will have a file that we keep on file for us for any purchases. So that would be one less thing that the applicant will have to complete moving forward. Another thing is that that this is a taxable grant. So a percentage of what is dispersed through our program is viewed as taxable income. We don't have those numbers. It's all based off of what is dispersed. So we will send out a K-1 tax document the following spring after the disbursement. And then that is something that the families or the individual will have to take to their tax preparer whenever they are preparing their taxes. So that's all I have. And I just want to show a brief video. See if I can get the video up for sure. Oop, I think I hit the wrong thing. Let's share this. Okay. This is just a little bit about our program.
Some individuals and families lack the resources to access items they may need to live independently or improve their quality of life. Our charitable residual account provides financial support for children and adults with disabilities throughout the state of Pennsylvania to get the things they need. People with all types of disabilities are eligible, including autism, intellectual, mental health, and physical disabilities such as cerebral palsy and ALS. The charitable residual program will consider a wide range of requests, from iPads, camp and recreational activities, to medical equipment and home and vehicle modifications. The application process is easy and is all done electronically through our website. Applicants usually have the help of a service or support coordinator to complete the application, but individuals and families are encouraged to apply as well. Each year, we receive hundreds of applications and provide substantial financial support to those in need. Since its inception, the residual program has provided over $8 million to individuals living with disabilities.
All right, and this is our website too, the achievafamilytrust.info. We have information regarding our trust and our services, and then the charitable residual application link is located there as well. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you to Sunny and Wendy as well. At this time, if anyone has any questions, we'll kind of open it up to the floor. The three of you, thank you so much for sharing these wonderful resources for our families and community. I see Bob's hand up. Good. You have a question?
Hi, yes, thank you for the presentation. There's a lot of good information. I had a question about recreational activities and funding around that. Would that include things like some of the equipment that could be used for recreational activities, such as adapted bicycles, trikes, that sort of thing?
So for the residual program, that would be under product and supplies. So recreation would be a true recreational activity, like horseback riding, gym membership. If they want to participate in any type of sports, swimming, anything like that would be considered recreational. But the items to participate would be under product and supplies through our program.
So under that category, then that could be supply. What about some of the stuff that goes around supporting that activity? So, you know, I think of an adapted trike that could go on my van, but it couldn't go on my van with the person who's going to ride it, who's going to be in a wheelchair. So I almost need something to put it in to tow it.
Mhm.
And then, you know, that's an additional cost that I'm not going to encounter outside of, pulling that bike around. So I'm just wondering if that's something you guys would consider as part of
Yes.
that request.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can apply for both of those.
And then I guess the other question would be, is there a cap on the,
How much?
how much you'd be willing to put into something like that?
So there's no cap. We do ask that applicants are realistic with what is being requested. We've had a lot of applicants coming to us for furniture for $10,000 worth of furniture. There's no way that we can purchase $10,000 worth of furniture. So like we would look through each application, and that's why the application process does take a lot of time. We go through each application page by page, look at every single submission, every letter of support we read, all of the bids we read through. So as long as it is, realistic to that need, it's something that we would most likely be able to fund and consider through the program.
Okay, and then you mentioned bids.
Yes.
One of the things that I would wonder is, are you required to go with necessarily the lowest bid, or can there be some other factors that go into what provider you select? You're selecting, because they might have similar products, but supplier X may include a lot of I don't know, expertise and support that another supplier isn't able to provide.
Right. So when we look at the bids, whenever you are submitting them, you can request the specific vendor in your application, and that would also be taken into consideration. Sometimes we do suggest the lower of the two bids, or approve somebody at the lower of the two bids. So that doesn't mean that we won't necessarily go with the other vendor. So if there's a vendor that you prefer over another and we're going with the lower bid, we could still purchase from the preferred vendor, but we would only purchase at the cap of what at our approved amount. So the family would then have to look for other resources for funding to cover those remaining costs.
I also wanted to thank you, because my daughter goes to an exercise program that you guys have helped us with, and it was pretty painless. There was that little lag where the application gets processed and you're waiting for the next to come around, but outside of that, it was relatively easy. It really devolved onto our supports coordinator to process things, and we just gave them whatever supporting information they needed around that, and it was pretty simple.
Good. I'm glad you had a good experience with that.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions before we wrap up tonight's call?
I wanted to share too that I dropped into the chat live links if people wanted missed the QR codes, so they can download any of those resources that I talked about.
Thank you so much, Wendy. And Vicky, I see you have your hand up. So I will pass it over to you.
Mommy.
Vicky, did you have a question?
Mommy, try to remember. Mommy, try to remember.
Did you have a question, Vicky? Okay, well, I will get Vicky's question at another point. Did anyone else have any questions before we wrap up? All right, well, thank you again to our three speakers and everyone for joining us this evening. We look forward to continued relationships with everyone. And we will get this recording out to everyone in the family newsletter. And so make sure to stay in touch and let us know if you need any additional information. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.